So in the sealed nectar, we have the example where the prophet himself did this. He had 2 wives that he did not consummate marriage through sexual relations. In the sealed nectar biography of the prophet, page 485, it says the 2 wives that Muhammad, peace be upon him, never had sexual intercourse with, one from the tribe of Bani Kalab and the other one from the royal Arabian tribe of the Banu al-Mustalik. So, to summarize, the prophet, peace be upon him,
30 seconds.
cohabited with 2 of his wives in consummated marriages without having sex with them. Was it ethical? Consummated ethical marriages, cohabiting with them, did not have sex with them, the marriage was still valid. Muslim men can marry divorced Muslim women and cohabit with them in a consummated marriage with the requirement of waiting 3 months. Yes, sir. And so I'll close with that.
Kenny says Joshua Little wasn't talking about hadith in general. He was only referring to these specific hadiths about the age of Aisha. And Kenny, there are only 2 possibilities in this world. Either you haven't read his dissertation at all, or you're lying. Those are the 2 possibilities. No, I've never seen anyone who has more contempt for the hadiths in general. And by the way, I just quoted him for you. That hadith, not a specific hadith, this is on his introduction to his methodology. So it's before he goes through the hadiths about Muhammad and Aisha. Matter of fact, this is chapter 1. Chapter 1, methods and debates. That hadith are unreliable. That any given matan cannot be taken at face value as an accurate datum from 1st century of Islam, and that any given isnad cannot be taken at face value as an accurate record of a matan's provenance, cannot be seriously contested for multiple reasons. Then he goes through all those reasons about how there are all these general problems for these sources. If you continue reading, or if you listen to his lectures, he's pretty clear. He believes that in early Islam, things were regional. Like there's the area of Kufa, and there's the area of Syria, and there's the area of Mecca, and there's the area of Medina. And these guys, they had some commonalities, like on how many daily prayers there were and so on. Other than that, they're contradicting each other left and right. And it's later on when you eventually get to this pan-Islamic consolidation where they come up with a methodology, and then they're picking and choosing. We'll take this from Mecca, we'll take this from Kufa, and so on. Because the Islam back then just completely everyone was contradicting everyone else. And so when they had to sort of consolidate and come up with what is real Islam, they came up with this methodology, this hadith criticism and so on. And then Joshua Little's view is that these people are all arguing amongst themselves. And if you and I are in an argument, I just go back, I write a hadith that supports me, and I attach a list of names on it because that was the new official Islamic method. Joshua Little believed that these people were cooking up hadiths like they cook up falafel. And the population just gobbling it up like it's Ramadan. That's Joshua Little's view. Again, if you read it, he treats the hadiths like a garbage dump. Of course you can't trust the hadiths about Muhammad and Aisha because you can't trust the hadiths in general. So again, Kenny, either you're not familiar with what he actually said, or you're just flat out lying, because there's no way you can read that dissertation and think that he has any respect at all for the hadiths. Again, just to be clear, he does believe you can get some details about Muhammad's life from them, but that's by applying Western academic standards and using some very interesting methodologies to attempt to get anything of value from them. Then we have consummation now doesn't mean had sex with. Kenny quoted Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Here's Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Consummate, to make marital union complete by sexual intercourse. Guess what? That means the same thing in Islam. Do you know why? Because we're not as familiar with it. We're not as familiar with this anymore. But back then, marriage was a process, right? You had the proposal, then the betrothal period, and then there was the consummation. That's when the two become one flesh, where they actually have sex. It's consummation because that's the final step, right? And Kenny, no. That just means that even though they were already married. So notice, they're already married at 6 or 7. And then there's this consummation. That's when they can start kissing. Seriously? start kissing.